up, everybody? It's your boy Shazwiyt, and welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for joining me yet again, and thank you so much for your continued support. If you're new to this channel and you're clicking on me for the very first time, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and also turn on that post notification button so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. So guys, let's get straight into today's content. Okay. I hope you're all doing well, Shazwiyt gang. Happy Sunday. As you can tell, I have another guest today. And would this guest like to introduce herself?
Hey guys, my name is Devika. I am one of the people here at Millsaps College. Oh wait, are you supposed to say Millsaps College? Well, no, you know he goes to Millsaps, so yeah. I don't know
Cool.
what else to say.
Yeah, so Devika's a really close friend of mine. We've known each other pretty much our whole time since being at Millsaps. She's a super cool girl. So yeah, we're gonna get straight into today's content. I don't want to take up too much of your guys' time. So as you can tell by the title of today's video, we're going to be talking about Gandhi. And for those of you who don't know who Gandhi is, clearly you did not do history, or you've been living under a rock like Patrick in SpongeBob, I don't know. But Gandhi is basically like when I think of India, I think of Gandhi. You know, he's just one of those very peaceful. He was a very big person in India's independence movement. You know, non-violence. I don't know why I'm blanking out a bit. Do you have anything to add on who Gandhi is?
Well, he is also the father of our nation,
Yeah.
India. Well, yeah, but like he basically like led our independence and drove the Britishers out by like staying hungry. Like he kind of went on a hunger strike, and
Yeah.
it kind of like really angered the people, and the Britishers got scared and they basically left. Yeah.
True. I remember when I learned about Gandhi, I remember one of the things people were upset about in India was about salt. I think you guys got
The Dandi March.
Exactly. So apparently, like Gandhi walked, I don't know, hundreds of kilometers
Yeah.
to, I think it was maybe the east coast of India or the west coast, something like that.
I'm not sure. I think it was towards Bengal. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
Though. I might be really wrong.
Yeah, no,
but-
it's so basically, obviously Gandhi was all about, demonstrations of non-violence and civil disobedience. So basically, in one of the marches, like the one we're talking about, he walked all the way to one of India's coasts, and as he walked, thousands, probably like 1 million people in total or something, like were walking with him, would just join him, and basically they were gonna take the salt out of the sea or something, because India has a lot of salt. So like that was one of the things that was
We do.
yeah
We do have a lot of.
lots of salt and spices. So yeah, obviously, Gandhi has been very influential. I remember when I was a kid growing up, when I was super young, back when there were cassettes and DVDs and all that, we used to, in our house, and we still have it, we had the Gandhi movie cassette. And I never really understood what it was about. I just knew that these were Indian people and that Gandhi was, I guess, influential. And that movie, I think, came out in 1982 or 1980 or something. And it was a very good movie. It even won a lot of Oscars, including Best Picture. Yeah, it did. So that clearly shows like how influential this guy is. On our campus, we have a Gandhi statue. It was even recently Gandhi Day, which is why I decided to do this video. And obviously with Devika being Indian, I really wanted to get, an authentic Indian perspective on this because, I'm all about trying not to be ignorant. I want to learn a lot. I don't want to say things that are like bad or whatever. So yeah, so basically, let me go on to the first question. So growing up in India, being from Mumbai, how was it? Yeah, what was Gandhi to you basically?
Like I said, like Gandhi is the father of our nation, right? And like on every note that we have, like the money notes,
Yeah.
like we have his face, like that's how much people care about him or love him. And we celebrate Gandhi's birthday, right? And like people just sing national anthem, wear white to show like symbol of peace and purity, and they salute to him, sing his favorite songs, and honor him. But yeah, I mean that's what I like believed in. That's what I saw when I started growing up in that kind of society and culture.
Yeah.
But you know, like with every person, like you might have read his book, Experiments with Truth. The story about my experiments with truth. I think that's his autobiography.
Oh, okay.
And he talks a lot about like how he wanted to be an honorable person, and you know, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cool.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I think pretty much every country has their own, I guess, father or mother of the nation. Where they, like for us, it was Mugabe. South Africa, it's Mandela,
Yeah.
etc., etc. So, so you actually posted something on Instagram, which I'll also put up in the video, but I'll read it. So according to the meme she posted, it said, "What she says, I'm fine." What she means, Gandhi was a racist, misogynist, sexist who said that the rape of a woman was her own fault. He slept with naked underage girls to test their celibacy and degraded them to mere sex objects. He talked about foul things about his own wife, said that menstruation was the manifestation of the distortion of a woman's soul, and yet he's praised by the world for bringing peace. So, when I saw this, obviously, like, I was not surprised because I won't name this person's name, but we have a mutual friend of ours who's an Indian student, and I remember I was talking to this girl, and this girl was telling me about how she is Sikh. So she is Indian American. She was born here, raised here, but she told me about how apparently there was a genocide against Sikhs, the Sikhs in the 80s, right?
Yeah, it was during that time. So like what happened was Gandhi, for some reason, or maybe there's a reason known, but at least I don't know if there's, but like he was completely against Sikhs. He hated Sikhs.
Which is an ethnicity in India.
It's a religious.
Oh, sorry,
religion. It's a religious group. Yeah. So they had their temple. It's called the Gurudwara. And so he just hated the followers, like it just didn't make sense, and he wanted nothing but to destroy them. Like he wanted to obliterate them, or like at least make them convert into a more acceptable religion, which, come on, let's face it, does not exist.
I know,
like,
right?
It's your own choice, bro.
I know.
Like if you believe in something, you believe in it. Like why do you want to make me change my belief?
Yeah, just don't hurt anybody.
But I don't know. Like Gandhi was completely against Sikhs for some reason, and let me tell you, he was never. I mean, at least I don't believe that he was ever for pro-equality. Like he hated people. Like
wow.
I don't mean like people as in like in general. He hated the Sikhs. He always degraded women. Like okay, so he was known to be a kind of like a holy man. If you can like think about it that way, and a lot of people worshipped him, so he kind of like got that image of a holy man. So he wanted to like in the post it said he wanted to test out his celibacy, so he would like hire prostitutes and lay with them and try not to have sex with him, just to like test his own self-control, or he would like lay with underage young girls. And at that time it was okay because he got married at 13, so it's kind of okay during that period. But is it still okay though, morally speaking? It's not, because like he had a wife and he basically just cheated in front of her. Like,
so
even
he was 13
when he got married. Yeah.
And the girl was his age as well?
Probably, or maybe underage young girls. Like
wow.
there was some controversy about him trying to sleep with his niece, I believe.
Damn.
But then like the niece cleared it up by saying it was nothing wrong, and he just like he just loved her very much, which is very no, bro. Like I don't believe you,
yeah,
bro. But yeah, I mean, and the worst part is the government tries to shut it up. Like all the whispers about Gandhi's true background, like India wants nothing to do with that. Like they are not ready to accept that they're okay. We call Gandhi Bapu, which means father, right?
Okay.
And they don't want to believe that their father could ever be a man who could like not go for peace and equality. And like you just heard like in the post like how like he spoke such foul words about his own wife because she menstruates, and like Come on, that's a
Really?
fundamental biological process.
Literally.
Like, I mean, come on, bro. Like, it's understandable that, in that period, there were a lot of, like, stigma and, some wild speculations going around. But, like, if we're gonna praise him in today's world, we cannot, go based on what happened those many years ago. Like, if we are moving forward, we are progressing as a world together, we cannot stay in the past by, accepting what happened in the past because, it was that time period.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a really great point you brought out, because people always have that defense of like, oh, it was a different time. Like, we didn't know better. Like, bitch, no, you know better.
Yeah.
You know.
And like, even if you don't know better, today's world is not gonna accept that shit.
No.
Like, bro, no. Like, get a life, bro. Seriously.
True. Because we live at a time where there's no excuse for ignorance, because with the internet and everything, there's so much access to information. If, let's say, I literally know nothing about sex and all that stuff, like right now I made the mistake of saying ethnicity instead of religion. I knew it was a religion, but for some reason my mind is all over the place. But that's something I could have easily researched and looked up. There's literally, I mean, she obviously, being from India, she could tell me all about it, but at the same time, there's so many things I could research. And India is a huge country. There are still things she doesn't know about that probably the internet will know more than her. So it's...
And even then, like, there's a lot of bias, right? I mean, come on, what media is truly unbiased today?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, even if they try their best to be biased, someone is gonna try to buy them off. You know what I mean? And even if it's not biased, right? Like, if you have an opinion that you favor, you're gonna look for... Oh, I'm being really weird. I'm just trying to get coffee. Okay?
Oh, no, that's fine.
So, like, I'm just saying that, like, if you... Shut up. Okay. So, like, if you have an opinion, right?
Yeah.
And if you favor A instead of B, you unknowingly go look for A.
That's true.
Yeah. Like, you don't try to see both sides.
True.
You want validation.
Yeah.
You want to know that, you're not the only one who thinks like this. Like, there are other people. Like, it's not something you do on purpose, but I believe it's like something innate, unconscious that people do. So, I mean.
Yeah. So it seems like, as of late, especially this past, I guess I would say decade or something, something that's been coming up a lot is cancel culture. So cancel culture is basically where you have someone who you may have liked, but if people find out something dirty about this person, they cancel them. So what does canceling mean? An example is R. Kelly. People say R. Kelly is cancelled because he's raped so many women and he's molested girls and peed on girls and all that. So people cancel him by saying they don't listen to his music and they try to get other people to not like him. So I guess my question to you is, going forward with what we know about Gandhi, and all of this is true, by the way, what do you think future generations of Indians, like when kids learn about Gandhi, like, do you think people should look at him differently? Do you think he should still be praised for the things he did, or should people not like him? Like, I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, okay, so I'm gonna say that, the holiness that we gave to Gandhi should definitely be taken down.
Yeah.
Ultimately, he was just a human who, of course, made many mistakes, right? So going forward, I think the best thing to do would be, just lay it all out. Of course, teach how he did things, like how he strove for nonviolence, how he brought peace to the country. Yes, definitely, that was a big part. But also teach things like how he looked down on women, how he looked down on Sikhs, like how he did so many bad things, how he was a failure.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, fun fact, he was apparently a lawyer. Did you know
Oh,
that?
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but he was a terrible lawyer.
Yeah.
So he basically moved on.
Ugh,
and,
like,
nah.
not about that life.
I mean, teach about his successes and his failure, and let them decide if they, it's ultimately his personal choice, right?
Yeah.
You know his faults, you know what things he did good, and if you still want to go ahead and praise him, well, there's something wrong with you, but go ahead and praise him.
Praise him.
But if you believe, okay, this is something that he did wrong, I can learn from him, but I can be better, I think that would be the best path to take,
True.
Yeah. So definitely do not celebrate Gandhi Day. Because even though he brought a lot of peace to us, ultimately he brought a lot more pain and suffering to our people.
Exactly. To literally an entire religion of people.
Yeah. So no, if you feel like you need to celebrate Gandhi, just bring him up on Independence Day. Or bring him up on the Day of Nonviolence. It's a national day or International Day of Nonviolence.
Exactly.
That would be a better way to do it, at least.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think celebrating Gandhi is a good idea, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's true. I can definitely relate to this because in Zimbabwe, our founding father, I guess, equivalent of Gandhi is Mugabe. But then the thing is, with Zimbabwe, we did want to get our independence with non-violence, but we couldn't do that. We had to literally have armed struggle. But yeah, Mugabe he was a president for literally since independence, and he was always seen as a hero, was a very intelligent man, but also he did lots of bad things. He was a bad leader in terms of things went downhill fast, he was corrupt, but the people who worked under him were even worse. So he died about a month ago or so, sometime in September, and he was 95. He lived a long life, but he only got out of power in 2017. And so when he got out of power, everyone was happy because they're like, finally we can have a different president. But the person who's leading the country now is even worse than him. And to make matters worse, this dude was actually the dude who worked with Mugabe since the beginning and killed the people Mugabe wanted dead and was in charge of the shady
So basically he's a right hand man.
He literally right hand man. So it's another Mugabe but worse that we have. Some people have even died ever since he came into power because we've had protests where we want things changed because Zimbabwe is still really bad. In fact, it's actually gotten a little worse since Mugabe left. So it just shows... Anyway, my point of what I'm saying is that you have all of these people who you've been praising and looking up to our whole lives, but then you learn things about them. So I think going forward, we should separate what they did from who they are.
Oh, definitely.
Because all of us are not perfect. We've done shit.
We're not.
If you as an Indian or as a non-Indian who loved Gandhi still want to see him as Bapu, or whatever, that's up to you. But don't be fake about it. I think the important thing is that when teaching about Gandhi, people should acknowledge his faults as well.
And it's sad because teachers don't bring this stuff up.
You see? That's the issue.
Nobody brings this stuff up. And if people in India try to publish a book about this, they shut it down.
Wow.
Or they immediately get death threats and they have to take it down. They don't have a choice. It's that bad. People don't want to believe, you know what I mean? They just blindly follow him without even knowing what kind of a man he was. Bro.
It's crazy. So, why do you think Indians want to hold on to his holiness so bad? Do they feel like it will just spoil everything or something?
I think there's a level of patriotism involved with Gandhi because I think when we come together for Republic Day or a national holiday or Independence Day, we always bring Gandhi up.
Yeah.
Because he's the man who strove for independence. But of course there were a lot of other people.
Of course, yeah.
And there were marchers who were greater than Gandhi. But he was the most renowned one, he just because he was more famous than the others, people believe in him more and
True.
tie him to a sense of patriotism and nationalism.
Exactly.
But and plus I believe everyone needs hope,
Yeah.
the conditions in India, like religiously speaking, is not that great right now, because like a lot of people are trying to make India a national Hindu nationalist country.
Yeah.
And so it has a lot of, issues with like religion, culture, traditions, and so on. So at times like this, people need to hold on to some kind of hope.
True.
So if Gandhi was such a big figure, and if they don't know about his past or his truth, it's easier to hold on to it.
Yeah.
And people don't want to see the truth because, they don't want to take a chance of, it all crumbling down and, taking away their hope.
Yeah.
So I think that would probably be the case.
True. I think to some extent, like when I think of the most peaceful people in history, I think of Gandhi and Mother Teresa. They were like the two people who were like, and of course being Christian, I think of Jesus. But anyway, yeah, but I also relate to, with the Sikhs being, the genocide and everything. I relate to that because we had a similar thing in Zimbabwe. So in Zimbabwe, there are quite a few, ethnic groups, but the two main ones are the Shonas and the Ndebeles. So I'm Shona, which is almost the entire population. We make up about 70 or 80% of the people there. And then the rest are Ndebeles. So Ndebeles are people who are from South Africa, which is like the country below Zimbabwe, but they came to Zimbabwe in like the 17 or 1800s. So they've been living with us ever since. So when they came to Zimbabwe, they started living in the south of Zimbabwe, and they drove out the Shonas that were living there. So those ethnic tensions went over for like centuries up until to this day. And in fact, in like the 80s or 70s, there was, I think it was in the 80s, there was this thing called Gukura Undi, which was basically a time when the Ndebeles were being killed. And the ZANU-PF like Shona Party, which Mugabe and his cronies were all part of, they carried out a lot of the killings. Now, some Shonas were killed too. The Ndebeles did their own thing, but it was mostly us, the majority people, who did that stuff. So this whole thing of like groups of people with the religions or ethnicities being killed, it's everywhere. It's not, your own thing. But yeah, I mean, but basically at the end of the day, I will always look up to Gandhi in terms of an example of nonviolence, how we should approach things in terms of, protests and all that. Like right now in Zimbabwe, we're still protesting and we're still doing it in a nonviolent way where we sit down and we sing and we don't loot or make things bad. But even though we did that recently, the government, like, they made the police beat people up, but it's like they weren't doing anything. But we're still gonna try to be nonviolent and peaceful about it, And I feel like Gandhi was a great example for that. So I'll always acknowledge that part of him, but at the same time, the guy was a douchebag. And at the end of the day,
he was a douchebag.
He was, and we have to. So I just hope that for future generations of Indians and Indians now who are adults or whatever, I just hope that they can come to a place where people are shown both sides of a person and they aren't deceived and and hopefully like we'll reach a time where people can speak out about stuff without having to fear for their lives. Because even in Zimbabwe, people don't talk about Gukurahundi, well, in public. And in general, you don't talk politics in public if it's against the ruling party, because there's C-10s where people who abduct people and beat them up, whatever. That's why what I love about America is that the First Amendment, freedom of speech is so protected. I wish we had that back home, because you would not believe how many countries around the world people, will get into trouble just for what they say. So, but yeah, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, I mean, do you have any, I guess, thoughts running through your mind or closing statements about the legacy of Gandhi?
Not really. I was just like hoping, one day, if the world allows, people get to make a choice of their own.
Yeah.
Like a knowing decision, you know what I mean? Not just a blind faith. But yeah. I mean, that's a long way from here, though. It's not
true,
gonna happen
exactly.
today or tomorrow.
Because blind faith is hard to change.
And if it's in you,
woo, and you grew up with it,
yeah, forget about it.
Forget about it.
But yeah, one day.
Yeah, one day.
Maybe.
But what I hope also at the end of the day is I just want things to get better for the Sikhs and for other groups in India who feel marginalized right now. At least if things get better for them, while maybe people still see Gandhi as like a good person, then I guess that's a step in the right direction. So, yeah. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you so much for doing this.
Of course.
Yeah, that was
Anytime.
awesome. Yes. And hopefully I'll do more videos with Devika. Like, I've got some really great stuff coming, by the way. And I know I keep saying that I want to post the Try Not to Laugh challenge. That video is coming soon.
Ooh, it's really funny.
It's really funny. It says that there's a lot going on with school. Trust me, she is the busiest person right now.
Ooh,
Like,
I am.
I don't know what it is. Junior year is just kicking my butt right now. So,
Ooh.
yeah. But it's okay. It's
It's
good.
gonna get worse next year, bro.
Guys, that's why I want to fast track some of these classes. Because, yeah. But anyway, before we get to, that's a whole other conversation. We're just opening up cans of worms, right? But anyway, guys, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe again. Feel free to share the channel if you want to. Hope everybody has a great week. Stay tuned for the next video. Peace. Shazwiyt gang, I am clear.
Ow! Okay, you clear.